5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 401 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I am your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. Our work week is coming to an end. Another huge betting weekend ahead of us. Of course, college football Saturday, NFL Sunday, and we got a lot to talk about on today's podcast. Because last pod of the week, I got to give you my full card here going into the weekend. So I do have for you guys for tonight a 3-pack of sweats. There are 2 games in college football. I got to play on one dog and one favorite here. So stay tuned for that, both with some really good rhythm edges and sharp mush advantages as well. And then one very low bet obscure sharp line move college basketball play. So on a big Friday night, let's see if we can go 2-1, eke out a winning day. Now, as I mentioned, we got to unveil the final card for this weekend. I do have a 4-pack of NFL plays for you. I might have hinted at 1 or 2, as well as a college play that we talked about yesterday. So I could add some more. Again, I always try to remind you guys when it comes to the weekend, there's no podcasts, but I will be putting out the Sharp Report for vsin.com. You can always follow at Josh_insights. And then also, if you are signed up to get the ASG best bets that are available on the Juice Reel app for $4.99 a week, you might see some additions there as well. So there's a couple games in college I'm monitoring. Just want to kind of give it final 24 hours here, see where the late movement breaks. So we will have a 3-pack today, all college, 2 college football, 1 college basketball, and then, of course, looking toward the weekend, the final card for the NFL, as well as college football. Now, looking back toward last night, nice night, guys. 2-1 plus 0.78 units. Really, the coup de grace, the great play last night that got me pumped to sweat was the Houston Texans, baby. That's right. We took the points there with Houston. And remember, that was a great rhythm edge as well. Rhythm said it should have been about a 3-point game, but we got upwards of Houston plus 6. And if you guys didn't notice, just see where that line closed? Closed all the way around 4.5. So there's a ton of late movement breaking our way. And anytime the late movement breaks your way, like you got a 6 and you see it get down to 4.5, just gets you really excited that you got the best of the number. Again, doesn't guarantee a win, but I'm always looking at the late movement. Like after you bet a game, and I don't blame anyone, a lot of times you'll bet the game, you'll go do what you got to do, and then it's like, okay, I'll come back and watch the game when it starts. But I like to follow that last hour, half hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, because if it's breaking my way, it just gets me extra excited that I feel like I'm on the right side. And boy, did the Houston Texans defense show up, getting to Josh Allen. Davis Mills made some plays, so it was a great hit there with Houston in the points. And I'm also very glad I didn't play the total, because I had that, we talked about it yesterday, we had the primetime under system match, but then also we had that line tick up 43.5 to 44.5 on game day. So when we had kind of angles on both sides, it was a no bet for me, and it ended up cashing the under with 42 points overall. But man, you thought that maybe they'd get another score there. So I'm glad I had no part in that total, but a great hit there with the Texans with some great CLV. And then got a winner in college basketball with Kansas State. Our guy Haggerty went off, absolutely dominating, 98-77. Got the 2.5, and actually closed closer to 2, so some CLV there as well. Only loser was the Pittsburgh, I was going to call them the Pirates, the Panthers, because they kind of were battling at one point and then just kind of totally let go of the rope in the second half and ended up losing to UCF. But with K-State and the Houston Texans, nice little 2-1 winning night plus 0.78 units. So with that being said, let's get right to it, guys, because we got a lot to get to on today's pod, wrapping up the week. But I want to start with some college football because there are 2 games on the board tonight, and maybe they're listening to me. I always complain to you, why are all the 3 games starting at 7? Well, this one's nice. We got an 8 o'clock game, FSU, NC State. We got a 10:30 game, Hawaii and UNLV. So let's start off with the first one here, FSU at NC State. 8 o'clock kickoff here. Florida State comes in 5-5 on the year, but they have won 2 of their last 3. Just took down Virginia Tech 34-14, covered as a 14-point home favorite. Meanwhile, NC State also 5-5, but they're kind of going the other way. They've lost 3 of their last 4, just got beat up by Miami 41-7, did not cover as a 16-point home dog in that spot. Now, what have we seen across the market? Well, this game opened Florida State around a 5-point road favorite. And what we've seen is nothing but movement toward the Seminoles here, because the Seminoles went from -5 now up to -6.5. And you're actually seeing some books juiced up further, -6.5, -115, like it may even go to 7. And I really haven't seen any books kind of creep back down. Like they didn't really get up to 6.5 and get back down to 6, or 5.5 down to 5. It's been one-way movement in favor of Florida State. Now, the Florida State spread bets and tickets look pretty good because at DK, 59% of spread bets, 62% of spread dollars, so it's not hugely public, but kind of pro and Joe split there in favor of the favorite. But at Circa, get a load of this. Seminoles, 22% of spread bets, but 67% of spread dollars. That is a big low bets, higher dollars discrepancy in favor of FSU at the Sharp Wise Guy Vegas book Circa. I think the advantage here, aside from Florida State trending up and NC State trending down, obviously they both need a win. Got to get 6 wins for a bowl game. But FSU has some advantages here on both sides of the ball. They have the better scoring offense, 32 points a game versus 27, and they have a much better defense. They're giving up 22 points a game versus NC State giving up 34 points per game. And then a little cherry on top, I popped open Rhythm, and this is what really kind of sold me on laying it with Florida State here. I got -6.5, is that Rhythm has Florida State with a Green Star recommended play, saying they should be -8.4. So if the movement's only been one way toward FSU, really good splits at Circa, better offensive and defense, trending up versus NC State trending down, and Rhythm says it should be closer to an 8 or even 9-point game, that makes me excited to lay the points here. And it doesn't hurt that when I popped open Juice Reel, I noticed a 12% sharp mush edge in favor of the Seminoles. So 12% more of the sharper winning players are also going Florida State. So again, I love taking dogs, especially in primetime games, but looks to me with the Rhythm edge and the way the market is going, it looks to me where the sharp play is on, it's FSU. So I laid it with Florida State, -6.5. Can you win by 7 or more? That is the goal. Fingers crossed. Now, if you're looking for a dog, I got one here. 10:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight, Hawaii at UNLV. Technically, it's at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders. And if you haven't been to Vegas in a while, the last time I was in Vegas was for the Chiefs Super Bowl where they came back against the 49ers. But when you're driving, like from the South Point up to Circa, and you see that huge Allegiant Stadium, it looks like the Death Star. It's kind of unbelievable. It's this big, black, huge thing. So if you've never seen it, it doesn't mean much to you what I'm telling you now, but when you see it, you're like, wow, that thing is huge. Anyway, Hawaii comes in 7-3. Just beat up on San Diego State 38-6, easily winning outright as a 6.5-point home dog. On the other hand, UNLV 8-2 on the year, just edged Utah State 29-26 in overtime, but did not cover as a 4.5-point home favorite. So what have we seen across the market here? Well, this game opened pretty much UNLV -2.5, -3, and we really haven't moved off of -2.5, -3. Now, there's a lot of 2.5s out there. There are some 3s out there as well, but if you pay attention to the juice, all movement and liability, the more expensive side is on the Hawaii side, +3, -115. So it kind of tells me that a lot of 2.5s, or it's +3 juice toward Hawaii. So it kind of looks like a bit of a line freeze play here, and what I really like is the fact that the public is all over UNLV. So this is a late game. It's going to be very heavily bet. People are getting after it, going to the bar. Yeah, going to the bar, sweat and lay it with UNLV. So it's an opportunity to go the other way here in a primetime game. But if you look at this line freeze, again, more than 2 out of 3 bets going UNLV. Why aren't we up to -3.5, -4? It's pretty much staying right at 2.5 or 3. That tells me there's a reluctance on the side of the house to move the number up because they're really kind of more so respecting Hawaii in the points here. But Hawaii is your number 1 bet against the public play of the night. They're only getting a third of tickets in a heavily bet primetime game on FS1. DraftKings, only 32% bets, but 71% dollars on Hawaii. So really good low bets, higher dollar split on the Rainbow Warriors. You also look at some system matches here. Friday night road dogs, 16-10 against the spread this season, 62%, 18% ROI. Short road dogs +4 or less, they're 665 and 595 against the spread, 53%, 2% ROI since 2012. One angle to me would be hopefully Hawaii's defense. They're giving up 26 points per game. UNLV is giving up 31 points per game. And overall, Hawaii, 52nd in yards allowed, 349 a game. UNLV is 130th. They're giving up 449 yards per game. Hawaii also has a rest advantage. So rest versus tired. They're coming off a bye. UNLV just played Utah State. Lastly, popped open Rhythm. Rhythm has Hawaii plus 1.8. So again, you got to shop around and get the 3. That's pretty widely available here. I got plus 3, minus 115. But Rhythm says it should be closer to basically a 2-point game. So a little bit of an edge there. And then pop open Juice Reel, 14% sharp mush edge on Hawaii. So I'm going Rainbow Warriors here, guys. Make sure you got the 3. You should be able to find it. Again, a lot of 2.5s out there. But you got to get the key number of 3 so that if they lose by 3, you push the bet and get your money back. Plus 2.5, pretty much you can need them to win outright. But it reminds me a little bit of Clemson versus Louisville last weekend. It was more of a move toward Clemson, but it was kind of a short road dog where resistance was still on that road dog. So I got Florida State minus 6.5, Hawaii plus 3. Now, let's talk about a college basketball play for tonight. So there's a huge slate. There's actually some afternoon games that I was interested in, but couldn't really get the pod out in time. So I ended up landing on kind of a go-to play. A low bet, added obscure sharp line move play in college hoops. And the game, let me find it for you. It is I'm on college football. I got to go to college hoops. But it is a 8 o'clock game tonight. Game 306-529, 306-530. Hampton at Norfolk State. Now, you look at Hampton in the spot. They come in 2-4. They have lost 3 of their last 4, so they won their opener, and now they've lost 2 straight. They lost to BC, 63-52 their last time out. Norfolk State, 2-3 on the year, started 2-0, and now they've lost 3 straight. So both teams kind of trying to get off the schneid and play better here. But it's pretty clear which way the line is moving. It's moving toward Norfolk State. This game opened at basically a pick'em or a very short, like -1, -1.5 for Norfolk State. It's a very low bet game. Again, we got college hoops, you got NBA, you got, again, a lot going on, college basketball, bigger games than this. Yet this is a game that's taking in smart money. And we can tell because even though it's very low bet, public doesn't care about this game. It's that added extra game tab on their app. We know that sharps have taken a liking because they've moved this number toward Norfolk State. So Norfolk State in the spot, they are favored by 4. So Ken Pom has them winning by 4. Rhythm has Norfolk State minus 2.7. And it's a low bet game where the line is clearly moving toward Norfolk State. Norfolk State has the better defensive efficiency, 146th in the country versus 197th for Hampton. Defensive effective field goal percentage, making it harder on your opponent. They are allowing 44% shooting from their opponent. That ranks 37th in the country versus 54% for Hampton. That's 253rd. A little bit of a rest advantage. So Norfolk State last played on the 14th of November, whereas Hampton played on the 18th. So again, not really rest because these kids are young, but more time in the gym practicing. And you can imagine, I don't know who the coach of Norfolk State is, but you lose 3 in a row. You have a big break here. Hopefully he's riding them hard and getting them ready to hopefully play well tonight. Home road splits, 2-1 at home for Norfolk State, 1-3 on the road for Hampton. And you look at the DraftKings money line split. So you guys probably know the direction I'm going here. Money line play, minus 135. I got it at DraftKings. Shop around. Some books are like minus 140, minus 145. But I want to protect ourselves. It was a very short opener. Pick 'em, 1-point favorite. Now you're up to 2, 2.5. So again, if it's a close game, we want to be able to cash this one. So it's a money line play. And at DraftKings, 74% bets, 84% dollars on the money line for Norfolk State. So I'm playing Norfolk State here. Again, low bet game, but Rhythm says they should win by about 3. Ken Pom says they should win by about 4. And the line's moving toward the rested team. So give me Norfolk State money line, minus 135. That's what I'm doing for that one. Now, let's go over to some NFL because we got a big slate here coming up on Sunday, and I want to give you a few of my plays. So, first one on the board that I want to hit on, I talked about this on the live stream for Rhythm. It was a Wednesday stream, but the Chicago Bears. Da Bears. I'm going Da Bears to win the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 1 o'clock on Sunday. This game opened. Bears are on a 2.5-point favorite. It's only been juiced toward Chicago, minus 2.5, minus 115. Some books have even gotten up to 3 at a few times throughout the week. So it's pretty much shown liability on that Chicago Bears side. What I like are the splits on the Bears. 59% bets, 69% dollars at DK. Circa, 79% bets, 98% dollars. On the money line, that's what I did. Took Chicago Bears to win this game, minus 140. Only 57% of bets, but 97% of dollars are on the Bears here to win this game. I also love that I have a recommended Green Star Smart Signal on the Bears money line from Rhythm, telling me to play this one. And then also you look at non-conference favorites straight up. So two different conferences. Typically the favorite lack of familiarity benefits the kind of the cream rising to the top. But those non-conference favorites straight up are 37-17 this year, 69%. They're 70% since 2020. Both off a win take the favorite straight up, 67% this year, 72% since 2022. And oh, by the way, Aaron Rodgers. He's got a banged up left wrist. I know it's not his throwing wrist, but maybe a fumble, a snap, and he's been limited in practice. I don't know. Guy who's got almost I don't know if it's officially broken or not, but kind of banged up here. And again, I know Pittsburgh is that Mike Tomlin dog system match, but I got a really strong Rhythm Smart Signal, liability towards Chicago, good splits in a lot of these non-conference system matches. Also, Pittsburgh, they play well at home, not so good on the road. So I'm going to take the Bears, Ditka and the Bears to win this game, minus 140 on the money line. Next one for you, Indy against Kansas City. I've been waiting on Kansas City to become Kansas City again. Maybe they do it this week, but I'm not banking on it. I'm taking the points with the Colts, plus 3.5. Now, what's very important here is that there's a lot of books at 3 for Indy. You need to get that hook. So ESPN Bet still has Indy plus 3.5 at minus 120. But what I like about this spot is, number one, the line is moved toward Indy, plus 4.5 down to 3.5 or even 3. They are a dog who can score system match, 32 points a game, number 1 in the NFL. Sauce Gardner, I believe, playing his second game and just had a bye. And that bye week is big because you have a rested Indy team off a bye. Kansas City had the bye, but then just had a tough game against Denver. Daniel Jones in his career, did you know, 19-11 against the spread as a dog, 63%. And oh, by the way, I have 3 system plays on the Colts. One says they should be plus 2.7. One says they should be plus 1.6. And I have a Green Star play that says they should be plus 0.5. So all those recommendations are providing us an edge with the plus 3.5. So again, maybe the Chiefs roll and become the Chiefs again, but it hasn't happened, and the market's moving toward Indy. And I have some really good rhythm system matches. So I played Indiana Jones, kind of a cringeworthy, nickname there. But either way, I'll be rooting for Daniel Jones. I got Indy plus 3.5. Again, shop around. You got to get the hook because there's a lot of books down to 3. Next one for you. Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints. Now, this one is tough for me because I am on the Saints under 5.5 win total. I don't want them to win because I got the under on the win total. I think they're at 2 wins, so I can give you 3 more, but no more than that. But I'm playing New Orleans to win this game. I got to stay true to the market. Super sharp dog to fave line move on the Saints. This game opened Atlanta. Before Michael Penix got hurt, they were as high as minus 3.5 on the road. We've now flipped with Penix out and Kirk Cousins in to New Orleans, minus 1.5, minus 2. I even see a couple 2.5s out there. So this dog to fave line move really, really jumped out to me. Tells me smart money's going Saints. Tyler Shook making his 4th start, coming off a bye, so rest first tired, versus Atlanta, who just played against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers covered for us there. But you look at the splits, 33% bets, 52% dollars at DK. At Circa, 47% bets, 64% dollars. Once again, money line a short favorite. I got the Saints money line, minus 130 at BetMGM. At Circa, 44% bets, 94% dollars on the Saints money line. So rested off a bye, dog to fave line move. You had me at dog to fave line move. But in this spot, if you're a favorite off a bye, straight up, you win 71% of the time over the last 2 decades. So I got to go Saints here with the dog to fave line move, Saints money line. And then last one for you, Philly and Dallas. I'll be fully honest with you guys. I feel like when I play Dallas, they let me down. When I bet against them, they win and play well. So I hope I'm not a kryptonite play here, a mush. But I like Dallas plus 3.5. Everyone and their mother is on Philly. Philly's getting upwards of 75% of tickets. But Philly actually opened this game on the road at Dallas as high as a 4, 5, almost 6-point road favorite. This line is now down to 3.5, and it's getting down to 3. So why is the line falling toward Dallas if everybody and their mother is on Philly? Tells me we got smart money taking the points with Dallas. Maybe they lose, but can you lose by 3? And can we cover with the hook, the 3.5? So there are a lot of books down to 3. You got to get that 3.5. I got plus 3.5, minus 120 at ESPN Bet. But I like the splits. Only about a quarter of tickets, but more than 60% of the money at Circa. Divisional dog angle. Since 2019, divisional dogs cover nearly 54% of the time. Non-division dogs only around 50.5% of the time. If you're a divisional dog with a line move of at least 1 point or more in your favor, those teams are 57% against the spread since 2020. You're a dog who can score a system match, 30 points per game, second in the NFL. Another angle that would be with the Colts as a dog who can score, because again, you got to either keep pace or backdoor cover. And then also, Philly just added, or Dallas just added Quinnen Williams, good defensive player. So Philly's winning all these games, but they're not always covering. They're playing a lot of low-scoring games too. This total did fall 50 down to 47.5, but I jumped on the 3.5 with the boys because again, everyone's playing Philly, but we got a sharp dog, divisional dog move toward the Cowboys here. So I'm going da boys at plus 3.5. Again, you got to get the hook, minus 120. So Chicago money line, Saints money line, Colts plus 3.5, Dallas plus 3.5. Now, one final bet for you. Again, I am going to write a sharp report tomorrow morning for vsin.com, so there's going to be 2 more college football games I'm going to write about. But the one that I had mentioned, and again, if you're playing it, you got to grab this before it moves even further. But Tennessee and Florida, this is for sure my play, the one that I like the most, and I got the 4.5 with Florida. But everyone's playing Tennessee. This is your primetime game, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night, Saturday night in Gainesville in the Swamp. But at one point, we had Tennessee opening 3.5. They got up to 4.5, like 80% of tickets on Tennessee. So just from a contrarian standpoint, Florida's in a great bet against the public spot. But all those 4.5s are starting to fall. 4.5's getting down to 4. So that 4.5 looks to me to be the best number. And if you want to take Florida and be contrarian here, this is kind of your last shot. So plus 4.5 with Florida, minus 115. That's what I played. It looks like you can still get 4.5 minus 115 at Fanatics, 4.5 minus 120 at ESPN Bet. But every other book is 4, and actually FanDuel is down to 3.5. So looks to me like it ticked up toward Tennessee, and now it's starting to come back down. Rhythm, by the way, has Florida plus 2.9, and this is your buy low on a team that's got a bad 3-7 record, sell high on a ranked team who's 7-3, and again, good bet split. Only about a third of tickets, but nearly 75% of the money on the Gators. So Gators got really nothing to play for. I don't think they can make a bowl game, but they can play spoiler, and this might be a spot where hopefully we can, win outright, or maybe you lose by 3 or less. But still got to get the 4.5 if you're playing it. I took Florida plus 4.5 in the Swamp. Again, Rhythm's got about a 2.9 there. So as I mentioned, there'll be more, but those are the plays as of now as we finish up on a big Friday. So that about does it for episode 401 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. This is the part of the pod where we wrap things up, and I always start first by saying thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, out of your busy lives. I know you guys got a lot going on. I actually had a pretty busy day because I had to pick up my niece at school. She had a half day, and my wife was working, my sister-in-law was working, my mother-in-law was working, and I was the only one who could do it. So I jumped in the car, picked her up. We stopped by McDonald's afterwards. It was actually a pretty fun time. But either way, I know you guys have busy lives, so the fact that you take some time out of your days to listen to the pod, it does mean a lot to me. So with that being said, if you want to help me grow the pod, please, would you consider giving a 5-star review on Spotify or iTunes? Leave a nice comment, rate, review, as well as maybe just recommending the pod to a friend, telling somebody you know, hey, I got this this pod I listened to. It's all data driven. Check it out. Maybe you'll find it interesting. But I do appreciate you guys for listening. Next, if you enjoy this style of betting breakdown, data driven, sharp contrarian betting, focusing on the numbers, not the teams, not our bias, but what the market is doing and telling us. If this style of betting has appealed to you, you want to learn more about data-driven betting, or you have a friend who could use some data-driven tips, or you're looking at the holidays and you have no clue what to get your grandfather, your grandson, your cousin, you should do, just get it out of the way. Go to Amazon.com, type in the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook. It's my new book. It costs you $24. You can actually get it through the Triumph Books website, my publisher, directly. If you use the promo code CHEERS2025, it's actually going to be half off, so you should definitely get it through there. But you know what? Your uncle, does he really want another plaid shirt? No, get him the Everything Guide to Sports Betting or the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook, my 2 books. And I'll sign them for you. I'll buy you a beer when we meet up at the book. Next, have you downloaded Rhythm and Juice Reel yet? My 2 favorite sports betting apps, Rhythm, great for their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props. Juice Reel, of course, where you can tip your podcast host and sign up for the All Systems Go official best bet picks for only $4.99 a week. Again, 7 days of plays for less than $1 a day, $5 overall, not too bad. But yeah, consider it tipping your podcast host. If you go out to the bar, bartender takes care of you, fills your water when it's low, gets you a drink when you need another one. You give him a nice tip. So if you enjoy the insights, if you had a big Texans or K-State win last night, to tip your cap to your boy and sign up for those official best bet picks. You're also going to get the Sharp Mush indicators, the arbitrage plays, the shop for the best line futures, all available when you download Juice Reel. So download Rhythm, download Juice Reel, give them a 5-star review in the App Store. Next, you have a live odds page. If you don't have one, you need one. You got to be able to track the market, the data, get access to all the games, the start times, the live scoring, live in-game wagering odds. But really for me, it's following line movement, figuring, okay, this is the open column. Now it's moved either up or down. Then pull up the line history, shop for the best price, get the best number, identify steam when everything gets lit up in red and the lines are moving. You can hop on a slow-moving book. You can do this all with Odds Logic. So sign up for the Odds Logic 7-day free trial and you get 50% off your first month of service. Make sure you go to oddslogic.com/Josh123. Lastly, have you given Novig a shot yet? Novig is a sports betting exchange. It's not a sports book. So instead of getting crushed with minus 115, minus 120 juice, you're getting juice like minus 105, minus 106, plus 102. Also, you won't get limited or booted if you're a winning player. So give Novig a shot. Just download the Novig app, and when you fund your account, there's a little promo code. Put in Josh123. They'll tack on an extra $25 to your account. So that about does it, guys. On a big Friday. I'll also mention this because it's a Friday. Have a little bit of fun. You might know this by now with me. I'm a big UFO guy. Okay, I believe in UFOs. I hope one day we'll figure it out what the heck's going on. I was very into the drone swarms over New Jersey about a year ago now. And actually last February, I went out to New Mexico with my wife, who was out there for work, and we rented a van, and we drove to Roswell. And everyone in Roswell told me it was real. I actually took a tour of Roswell. So I'm a big UFO person. You can call me crazy if you want. That's fine. But there is a movie that came out today. I can't wait to watch it tonight. It's called The Age of Disclosure. And it is, I believe, on Amazon Prime. But it is basically blowing the whistle on the fact that UFOs are real and the government's been lying to us for 80 years. So, again, call me crazy or not, but I cannot wait to watch this. Maybe after all the games are ending, I'll be able to put it on. But that's what I'm excited for tonight, to watch The Age of Disclosure. And maybe one day we'll get proof that aliens are real. Anyway, guys, with that being said, 2 final thoughts. Whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, the Encore in Boston, Plainridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, the Nash in my neck of the woods on the border of Massachusetts and Nashua, New Hampshire, or out in the desert where the true grinders get down, where Billy Walter sends his number runners, where some weird stuff at Area 51 most likely happened. Listen to Bob Lazar if you really want to get into it. When he went on Joe Rogan, that's one you're going to like. Or, of course, jumping in the stadium swim pool when you cash a big ticket at Circa. You're going to walk up to me, show me a Houston Texans, baby, winning outright. You love to see it. Texans coming up big, +6, CLV down to 4.5. Show me a K-State ticket. Nice seeing K-State roll as well. But first one's on me, next one's on you. We'll post about the book, Sweat Sharp Contrarian plays all night long. So as always, guys, whether we are coming off a 2-1 or a 1-2, a 3-0 or an 0-3, off a great night or terrible night, mediocre night, grinding and barely turning a profit, or grinding and doing great, never get too high or too low. We just got to stick with it, stick to the model, stick to the blueprint, bet games with our head and not our heart, be disciplined with our bankroll management. If we can do that and find the games that fit our model against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, avoid parlays and get that CLV. If we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So have a great Friday night, everybody. Have an even better weekend. And again, stay tuned for maybe a couple more college plays for tomorrow. But I'll see you guys back on Monday for episode 402. That'll be Thanksgiving week. We got some Thanksgiving Day games. I got to get my honey baked ham. But either way, guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you back on Monday on episode 402 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. Have a great night, everybody, and good luck. And reminder, the truth is out there.